Hello, my name is Glenn Claassen, and I am the author of Evansing, Heart of the Irish Kingdom. This is a historical fantasy novel based in 11th century Ireland. I write to entertain and also to share important life truths as I tell a story. If you stay to the end, I have an important action step that will help you move toward a life of greater excellence. I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you will be notified of future videos. Also, I would appreciate it if you would like, comment, and share, as well as visit my website as noted below. First, I would like to do a quick review of what's transpired in the previous episode. Edwin, the hero of this novel, has decided that his life is not going very well and he needs to do something different. He's been inspired to go to a nearby monastery and look up a monk called Percival. So he leaves on his journey. We're going to continue on with reading a portion of chapter 1 of this novel. Edwin took out his sword and looked at it. This was his symbol of manhood and sense of self-value. He had become renowned for his ability to handle a sword with deadly results. He put it back in his scabbard, wondering when he might use it again. Up ahead, he could see two men standing by the side of the road. They looked menacing. One of them stepped in front of Edwin and asked him if he had some change to spare. Edwin reached into his bag and brought out a couple of coins. The man then grabbed for the bag while the other man pulled out a knife and lunged at Edwin. Dropping the bag, Edwin grabbed the first man and pulled him around in time for the robber to be stabbed in the back by his accomplice. Down he went. Then Edwin pulled out his sword and skewered the second man through his heart. Both men lay at his feet, dead or dying. Spinning around, Edwin looked to see if there were any other robber accomplices. None sprang forth. This surprised him because it was uncommon for only two men to take on one-armed man, especially someone known as a mighty warrior like Edwin. Neither of them looked familiar, so they weren't locals who would have known of his reputation. While picking up his money bag, he noticed the first man had a tattoo on his arm showing him to be from Thesis. Now, Thesis is a nearby kingdom. Edwin mulled this over and came to the one conclusion which could be made. These men must have been scouting for a raiding party, probably only minutes away. Unfortunately for them, they must have believed their own lies that the men of Alfrith couldn't fight. Alfrith is the kingdom where Edwin lives. The nearest clump of huts were about 3/4 of a mile away. It was just north of the road he'd come on. Some of the people there were kinsmen. He needed to warn them and get the men assembled for battle. Running with all his might, he cut through a small forest, following a well-worn path used by the women of the area to fetch water from the nearby stream. When he was almost to the huts, he met one of the young ladies on her way to the stream. He stopped her, telling her of the danger, and taking her hand, continued to run toward the huts. Upon his arrival at the village, he informed the chieftain and his two sons what had transpired. Now, I selected this portion, first of all, because it indicates that Edwin was excellent as a warrior and as a swordsman. So he had invested time and effort in excelling in those skills. It's important for all of us to invest necessary time and effort to excel at whatever role we are playing in life. Secondly, even though he was on his way to start a new life, he was willing to inconvenience himself and expose himself to risk in order to help people that he perceived to be in potential trouble. And so it is for each of us. We must be willing at times to invest in helping others, even if it's costly to do so. Now, I've got that action step I promised I would share with you. I bless your heart and mind to work together to produce a new will and capacity to be excellent in whatever you do, and an increased willingness to help others even when it's expensive to do so. Until next time.